The courtroom felt unnaturally still, as if the air itself had paused. Not a rustle, not a whisper. Nothing moved when the defendant leaned forward, pointed at the judge, and declared with a mocking smile, "You're not even a real judge." A quiet shock rolled through the room. Even the camera operators hesitated, unsure whether they were witnessing confidence or disaster. Judge Helena, known for her calm, surgical precision, did not flinch. She simply lowered her glasses a fraction, a tiny gesture that had ended many performances before they began. Her reply was soft, yet so sharp that the defendant's smirk wilted before she could react. But the shock on the woman's face wasn't because of Helena's words. It was because the judge had touched a nerve she had tried to bury. And the moment Helena noticed the tremor in her expression, the balance of the room shifted. The defendant, Karen Mercer, leaned back with theatrical confidence, crossing her arms like she owned the space. Her eyes flicked toward the cameras, forgetting, once again, that this was a courtroom, not a stage. 3 seats away, the plaintiff, Mia Calder, sat with her fingers pressed together. She wasn't angry, just exhausted. The kind of exhaustion that comes from hoping anyone would finally take your truth seriously. Judge Helena tilted her head slightly. "Are we done performing?" she asked. Karen let out a brittle laugh. "I'm just saying what everyone thinks." But no one supported her. Not a nod, not a whisper. Helena studied her the way a doctor studies a patient in denial. "You believe everyone in this room agrees with you?" she asked. Karen's shrug lacked its earlier swagger. Mia finally spoke, her voice quiet but steady. "You didn't call her a fake judge because you believed it," she said. "You said it because you were afraid." Karen snapped toward her. "Afraid? Of a TV judge?" But her voice shook. Helena tapped a single finger on the bench, the sound echoing sharply. "I think," she said, "you're afraid of someone, but it isn't me." Karen blinked, and for a heartbeat, fear surfaced. The judge lifted the loan agreement Karen had submitted. One page. One very suspicious page. "Let's begin," Helena said. "And this time, let's stick to the truth." She held the paper toward the light. The ink shimmered unevenly. 2 different pens. 2 different strokes. "Why?" she asked. "Does the date appear to be altered?" Karen's breath hitched. "The pen must have run out." Helena nodded calmly. "Pens do run out, but they rarely stop and restart in the middle of a single number." A quiet murmur passed through the gallery. Karen tried to redirect attention. "Mia is exaggerating. This was a friendly arrangement." Mia shook her head. "You guilt me into giving you the money," she said softly. "You said I didn't care about you if I refused." Karen rolled her eyes. "It was a joke. She's dramatic." Helena's tone sharpened. "Is that what this is to you? A performance?" Karen shrank slightly. Helena lifted another page. One Karen had submitted earlier without considering how closely a judge might examine it. This page wasn't just edited. It had been rewritten, and Helena's thumb rested on a line that shouldn't exist. "You replaced the repayment terms entirely," she said. Karen's voice cracked. "Maybe I printed the wrong version." Mia finally looked up. "You told me the loan had no interest. You said you couldn't afford extra fees." Helena raised an eyebrow. "Then why does this version demand interest?" The room tensed. Karen's knuckles whitened. "You're changing the story to make yourself appear victimized," Helena said. "And this isn't the first time." Helena pulled a thin, worn folder from beneath the bench. 3 years ago, you filed a complaint accusing another judge of ruining your life." Mia gasped. Karen's face drained of color. "You falsified documents then, too," Helena said. Karen's breathing quickened. She pressed a trembling hand to her forehead as memories she had tried to bury resurfaced. "That judge hated me," she whispered. "No," Helena said gently. "They simply didn't let you rewrite the truth." The judge slid the old file toward her. On the margin was a handwritten note, Karen's own words. A reminder she never expected anyone to see again. Karen's shoulders collapsed inward. Her voice trembled. I didn't want people to think I was a failure. Mia's eyes softened but remained wounded. I was your friend, she said. I would have helped you, but instead, you lied. Karen covered her face, tears slipping through her fingers. I was scared, she whispered. I thought if people knew about that case, they'd think I was broken. Helena leaned forward, her voice calm but unyielding. Fear doesn't grant permission to hurt others. It explains the behavior, but it doesn't excuse it. Karen nodded, defeated. And now, Helena said softly, tell me the part you've been running from. Karen swallowed hard. When people look at me, I always feel judged, she whispered. Every mistake feels like a spotlight, so I rewrite things to protect myself. Helena held her gaze. And all you've done, she said, is build a cage out of your own lies. Karen broke down fully. No theatrics, no mask, nothing left to hide. And for the first time, the courtroom breathed again. Karen wiped the back of her hand across her cheeks, but the tears kept slipping through. For the first time since she entered the courtroom, she wasn't trying to hide them. Judge Helena let the moment breathe. She didn't rush. She didn't push. Truth, she knew, often revealed itself best in quiet. Miss Mercer, Helena said softly, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. Not for the court, not for the cameras, but for yourself. Karen nodded, shoulders trembling. Why? Helena asked. Did you need the money from Mia? Karen's breath hitched. Her fingers dug into the wooden edge of the desk. Her gaze dropped to her lap as though the truth were written there. She began, then stopped. Her voice barely existed. Mia leaned forward, concern replacing hurt. Karen, she whispered. Whatever it is, just say it. Karen swallowed hard, her throat tightening like a fist. I was being evicted, she whispered. The room went completely still. Evicted? Helena repeated calmly. Karen nodded, shame darkening her expression. I didn't pay rent for 3 months. I kept pretending everything was fine, but I couldn't keep up anymore. Mia's eyes widened. Why didn't you tell me? Karen's voice cracked. Because I was embarrassed. Everyone thinks I'm loud and confident, but I'm not. I just act like I don't care so people won't see how weak I actually am. Mia blinked, her expression softening with guilt she didn't know. You're not weak, she whispered. Karen shook her head. I am. I was drowning. I didn't want anyone to know. So elite. I said the loan was for a car repair. I altered the document to make it look like you owed me something, so I wouldn't seem desperate. Her voice broke. I didn't think you'd take me to court. I thought I'd fix everything before you found out. Helena tapped the file gently. And instead, you made the situation worse by rewriting the terms, just like the last time. Karen nodded miserably. I know, she whispered. I panicked. For a moment, Judge Helena studied her, really studied her. The fear, the exhaustion, the years of bottled-up mistakes finally spilling out. You're not the first person to struggle, Helena said gently. And you're not the first to feel shame. Karen looked up, tears clinging to her lashes. But when shame becomes deception, Helena continued, the people you hurt aren't the ones you fear. It's the ones who trusted you. Mia exhaled shankily. I trusted you more than anyone, she said. You could have told me the truth. I would have helped. Karen let out a choked sob. I know. That's why I lied. Because losing your respect terrified me more than losing my apartment. The gallery murmured softly, a sound filled with unexpected sympathy. Judge Helena placed her glasses back on her nose, the movement calm and decisive. Miss Mercer, she said, you need to understand something very important. Karen braced herself. When someone builds their world on fear, Helena said, every truth feels like a threat. She paused. But every lie becomes an earthquake. A silence settled like dust. Karen nodded slowly, tears steady now. I want to fix it, she whispered. I don't want to keep living like this. Mia looked at her, pain still present, but now mixed with something gentler. I just needed honesty, she said softly. That's all I ever wanted. Karen met her eyes.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it was real. Judge Helena cleared her throat, returning to the structure of the case. We will address repayment in a moment, she said. But first, Miss Mercer, before this court can decide anything, you need to answer one final question. Karen inhaled shakily. Are you ready? Helena asked. To let the truth stand for once, without editing it? Karen's gaze lifted, fearful, exhausted, but finally honest. Yes, she whispered. I'm ready. And for the first time since the trial began, the courtroom felt lighter. Not because the case was over, but because the lies were.